You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
Thanks to Concordia University, Wisconsin for supporting The Coffee Hour. Find out more about Concordia University, Wisconsin at cuw.edu.
Live uncommon.
We have a fun guest today. We get to introduce a new friend today. And these are our friends right across the street here in St. Louis at Lutheran Federal Credit Union. Joining us today is Amanda Walker, CEO for Lutheran Federal Credit Union. Amanda, welcome to The Coffee Hour.
Thank you so much. This is amazing. This should be a good time.
We are excited to learn more about Lutheran Federal Credit Union and share the story of how it began. And I know that you have been a part of it since the founding, the idea and where it all began. So I want to share that story today. But before we get even back to the beginning of it, what is the work of Lutheran Federal Credit Union today?
So Lutheran Federal is a nationwide credit union so that we can serve those that are affiliated with the Lutheran Church in Missouri Synod. So a lot of people don't know what a credit union is, and that's kind of a struggle in general, but everybody hears about a bank. And a credit union functions the exact same way, but we are actually owned by our members. So what that gives is our membership the ability to have a say in some of the things that we do and how we're ran. And it has a different vibe than a bank does. Other than that, you're going to experience the same types of products and services that you would imagine a bank would have.
Yeah, and we've been LFCU members, I think from very early on. Our member number is like
ours too. Just a few digits.
Yeah, just a couple. It's been really great to have this resource in St. Louis and to actually have the offices across the street. We're actually able to go visit you, which is really cool to have that option too, but have all of the same perks and capabilities that we would get at a regular bank. So that's really cool. So let's talk about your story. Where did this idea for LFCU come from? You've been a part of it since the beginning. How did you get involved?
Yeah, my goodness. When I think back on this, it's almost like you couldn't make it up. But I am a accidental banker is the way that I refer to it. And so I started in the banking world 17 or 18 years ago. And when I first started, I was with one of the largest 5, 6, or 7 banks nationwide in the country. And so it was a great place to get your feet wet and to learn about everything. And to be quite honest with you, when I walked in, I didn't even know what a certificate of deposit was. I just knew that I wanted to be in banking, and that seemed like that was the best place for me to start. And so fast forward, ended up at the end of my career with them, I was a branch manager and had heard about this fantastic opportunity by somebody that I worked with about this idea of a possible credit union with the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod. And I wasn't really loving what I was doing anymore, working for a secular organization that was very sales heavy, just didn't really feel right for me any longer. And so I took this opportunity. Just everything has gone step by step and played out, the way that it was supposed to. So nothing less than an act of God to get me to come over and to learn a little more about it. And since we were not actually chartered and we weren't a thing yet, the first process was to go to back and forth to our regulating agency, which is a part of the government. So I'm sure you can imagine how really fun that was. And go back and forth for a couple of years underneath that. I actually got hired by the Lutheran Church Extension Fund. They are the sponsoring organization to help get the credit union up and going 8, 9, 10 years ago. So working for them for a couple of years, along with our first CEO, Tom Book, to get things off the ground and up and going. And for me, it was an amazing experience. And the only way that I really would have wanted to join, it was like going to credit union school or credit union college. Again, not having come from credit union world, but banking world, there's just a different vibe. And you learn a whole lot of behind the scenes. I no longer was just a person in a seat at a large financial institution. I was really making it happen and learning how it all played together. For me, that's how I think. And it's just been an amazing experience. So 2015, May, again, we just had our 8-year anniversary. We actually began operations and we became this legitimate federally chartered credit. And it's never been a boring day since either.
Well, I'm glad it hasn't been boring, and I'm grateful for Lutheran Federal and the work that you do, and I'm glad that it has been an exciting and interesting adventure. You were talking about going from the secular industry to the credit union and to an organization that partners with or is part of the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod, and how that was important to you. I can relate to that too, working in radio, which is a highly regulated industry, and how you had to work with government agencies in order to get things off the ground, but also going from, the highly commercial world of radio in the past to now serving in a format that is so connected to what we believe, teach, and confess, and being able to share that on a daily basis. It's like we have very shared missions, right?
Yes,
Well,
absolutely.
and also very happy to be a Lutheran Federal Credit Union member. So this is kind of fun. Now, Sarah mentioned, it's nice having you guys right across the street, but I've
Mhm.
also talked with Lutheran Federal staff on the phone and had just as great service on the phone. So I'm sure that folks anywhere around the country who are working with Lutheran Federal also have those great services, that great support just by the things that you provide online and on the phone as well. So you shared a little bit about your story of how you came to be a part of Lutheran Federal Credit Union. Who are the other people that make up this team that supports so many members who are a part of the credit union?
Yeah, we are a lean machine. There are 6 full-timers and 3 part-timers, and 2 of the part-timers are actually deployed in other states. So we've got 3 on the lending team, 2 of which do all of the mortgages. So just 2 of them are licensed to do that. And then we've got 3 on the operations side. So if you think about it, you've got the lending side that really helps and identifies opportunities for people to save money and whenever they do have a need for a loan. And then once they disperse those loans, then you've got the operations individuals to help support those loans and answer the questions and those kinds of things as they go on. But then you've also got, we are a full service institution. So checking accounts, savings accounts, credit card, that stuff. So just the day-to-day needs that an individual would have is what the operations team really tries to oversee. So the dynamic between the two, and with this being such a small organization, when I refer to them, even directly to them, they are a team. They are not employees. They are in a team to me. And for me in particular, having been with them for so long, because we're talking, I think six of the original individuals that started way back in 2015 are still with us. They've been through everything. And so they're my family. And I think we really view each other like that, which can be great and can sometimes not be. Overall, you always come back and you always have that love and that care for your family. So again, we are incredibly efficient and we are very open with each other. And that communication is what helps us still to identify where we need to change, where we need to strategize differently, how we can grow and to serve more people. And I think that small group is really a huge part of our success at this point.
Yeah, it's been great to know several, I think, of the team members. When we managed to buy our home in 2020, we went through LFCU for our mortgage. So we got to know the team members at LFCU very well. And what a great experience for us, too, to have that support from people from a Lutheran organization that we could trust. So that was a great experience for us, being able to go through that process. And the credit union now having, your home office here, but we do all our banking on our phones now through the app, which is great. What is that? How does that work? When I was a kid, we went to a bank. We went to our credit union. I got to go to the teller who was sitting there, but it's very different nowadays, isn't it?
It is very different. And so one of the things that's required and that we did do during the chartering process is we held focus groups to see, A, is there a need for this new credit union? And B, if there is one, how do people want us to function? How do they want us to be present? And it was very early on that we realized a lot of those individuals did say, no, we want brick and mortar. And we were like, okay, how are we going to do this? So we did that. We have a brick and mortar, but then we still needed, in order to serve all 50 states, we still needed to be able to have all those virtual touch bases with people. So we're very fortunate that we came out from day one with the mobile banking, online banking, ACH capabilities, accepting direct deposits, all the things like that. So we haven't had to pivot as times have really changed. We just have all of those things at our fingertips. And what we actually also learned is individuals they don't really want to go into brick and mortar. I think people just didn't know. They were fearful of, what if we say no, that we don't need that? Well, we actually partner with a cooperative of over 30,000 ATMs, credit union ATMs, and over 5,000 shared branches across the country. So if an individual really says, I do want to walk into a branch, they can still do that. Those credit unions can still function transactionally like they are Lutheran Federal Credit Union. Same thing with if you were to go to some of their ATMs. But overall, the world has just become so virtual financially that we are able to accommodate, I would say, 95% of what individuals really expect out of their day-to-day financial resource. So it's been really good. It's been really good.
You mentioned earlier the difference between a credit union and a bank would be that credit union is owned by the members. Why then is it important for us as Lutherans to have a credit union? Why is it important? Why is it valuable?
I'm going to say the ownership is a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right on the heels of that is we truly understand the Lutheran Church Missouri world and some of its idiosyncrasies. And a lot of, if not all, but I will say a lot of, so I don't include all of them, secular financial institutions don't understand the rostered church workers, how they get paid, their finances. I mean, my goodness, the world that I came from before I joined this LCMS community, it was very difficult for somebody that was a pastor to be able to get a loan because of the stipend, and they lived in a parsonage, and we just kind of backed away from them. So truly understanding the niche that we are in and understanding the individuals that we can serve has really been a great success of ours. And something we're really trying to drill home also is, yes, I think first and foremost, the idea of a credit union was started for the LCMS to really best serve the rostered church workers across the country, but we also built ourselves to be for anybody that's in the LCMS community. So it's those congregation members, it's those that work at LCMS organizations and volunteers thereof and their family members. And so as we grow a little bit, we're able to touch more of those people. It really helps to know that where we started with really knowing who we wanted to serve by understanding their lifestyle and how they function with their finances, it's now growing and we're expanding upon that, which is wonderful. We're getting the kiddos of people that joined us 8 years ago. You know, their children are growing up and going to college, and it's really coming full circle, which is how you really want to happen.
Outstanding. Well, we're going to learn more about Lutheran Federal Credit Union and our guest today. We're going to learn more about Amanda Walker, CEO of Lutheran Federal Credit Union, in just a moment. You're listening to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
At Concordia University, Wisconsin, we believe you were created for a reason: to use your God-given gifts to help others, to live a life of self-sacrifice in a me-first world, to live a life that's uncommon. Whether you're taking one of 50-plus online programs or learning with us in person on the shores of Lake Michigan, you'll be equipped to make an uncommon impact. Learn more at cuw.edu. Concordia University, Wisconsin. Live uncommon.
Welcome back to The Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
We're talking with Amanda Walker, CEO of Lutheran Federal Credit Union, learning more about LFCU and the work, the services that Lutheran Federal Credit Union provides to us, to the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod community, and a little bit about Amanda as well and her role as CEO. You mentioned some of the services that Lutheran Federal Credit Union provides to members of the LCMS community, whether they're members of congregations or staff or work in the LCMS. What are those services that are available to this community through Lutheran Federal Credit Union?
Like I said, we have the basic day-to-day, what individuals would want just to function in their normal life. So checking accounts and savings accounts, debit cards, credit cards, online bill pay, mobile app. My goodness, how many times do you go to your phone during the day to look at?
All the time.
Yeah, I know. I do as well. So the mobile app is a great feature where you can take the deposit with your checks, you know, the paper checks that you get, that stuff. But then you pivot and you look at the lending side. And I think that's really a big part of our, other than our customer service and our trustworthy and caring approach to all of our members, our lending products are really where we can benefit individuals. We deliberately keep rates low so that we can assist with saving money for the membership, so they can save money on a monthly basis so they don't have the stress of that. And I think a combination of that to kind of, so people to know, I think about auto loans. That's kind of where I'm going. Sorry for this. But our auto loans are always positioned to be so much lower. And especially right now, as things have changed with rates going up and stuff, we've continued to keep those as low as possible because, kind of like I mentioned, you've got kiddos that are now coming around and they need to be hit-goals. And it's very difficult to get something that is financially capable. And so we want to try to touch as many people as possible, let them know we understand. And things are different now time-wise and with finances and interest rates. And so we really try to educate people on the auto loans. But a good thing with that is that our lending team is so amazing that when they start to take a look at what you would need and what you could get for an auto loan, they look at the rest of your relationship and see what you have out there. And they've discovered and uncovered so many things for people that I mean, by the time it's all said and done, they're saving $200, $300, $400, $500 a month, and they didn't do anything other than apply for one product, but we discovered other things that could save them money. And it gives them the ability to have less stress, breathe a little easier, and focus on what's really important in life.
I think it's so great to have that team that's willing to do that, to work with you, especially in our unique situations, like you mentioned, the unique situations that we have working for the church in different capacities. Having a team in a financial institution that's willing to really see you as a person and take into consideration all those things, it's really a great resource for us to have. You mentioned, being the lending team, being able to work with people. Have you learned anything about members, or what difference have you seen in people's lives, since you've been involved with LFCU from the very beginning? What differences have you seen in the lives of members since they have this resource now?
Yeah. It's been nice and fun to watch the evolution. So people initially, I mean, my goodness, you guys can't imagine joining a brand new financial institution. So, you're not really sure, like, is this going to go well? And, it's the trust piece of it. And so as we've grown and been here for the time that we have been, it's been nice. We actually will get follow-up emails. People will take the time to sit at their computer or leave us a voicemail to say, thank you so much for how you have impacted not only them, but their household, because we are getting more of their family. And that's honestly what makes us get up and come back again. You can have the most stressful, worst of days, and you just wonder sometimes, what are we doing? And then somebody will send that to you. Well, that's what I needed to hear. So it's really about, we want people to come to Lutheran Federal Credit Union because not only can they trust us with their finances, but they know we're like their family. We're an extension of them. We're not going to try to do anything that would not best them personally and financially. And that's just what keeps us coming back all the time.
What have you found to be most joyful, or what do you enjoy most about being at Lutheran Federal Credit Union, being part of this credit union for the Lutheran Church Missouri Synod?
I think I am very proud of our great reputation that we have, that we've really built it from the ground up. And they're kind of hand in hand for me. So to be a part of it from the beginning and see the struggles and see, who in the world knows what is going to happen when you start an organization. And then you throw in a pandemic, and then you throw in employees that move to 2 different states, and you just, all of these things, but we've stuck with, and it's been amazing. And to know that we're touching the lives of our members and helping to make them a little better. And also, I think with the team and the family that I work with, we're enriching our lives as well, because we're experiencing all of this together, and we've seen all of it grow together. And who gets to say that they started a credit? It's just really cool. It's really cool.
It is really cool. And you've been there from the beginning. Now you're a CEO. What has that journey been like for you to be in charge of it now?
Yeah, well, I probably look about 20 years older than I did 8 years ago. But like I mentioned, for me, the way that I work and that I function, I like to learn a little bit about everything as I work my way up. And so having helped to charter it, and then starting off as the head of operations and really learning some of the struggles with getting things live and putting them in place. And then now being CEO, there are days that it's scary, when you realize it's your baby. But at the same time, I have a lot of respect from the team because they've seen me go through this journey too. And I honestly can't imagine doing this without each of them. And our board of directors is insanely supportive. And there have been days that have been kind of like what I mentioned. Why am I doing this? But when you wake up the next morning and you have the refresher and you sit in your thoughts and you realize, I'm doing this for all those that we work with and all those that we serve, it just keeps you coming back. And I really wouldn't want to be anywhere else. It's been an amazing journey. One that I could never predict, but usually, who predicts anything accurately?
Well, speaking of predictions and, the as you mentioned, since the pandemic, things have probably presented some challenges. And I know in the last few months, people have had questions about their financial institution with hearing things in the news about other banking industry, the industry itself, and other banks and things like that maybe raise some questions for them. What have you shared with members and potential members of Lutheran Federal Credit Union when they have those questions or concerns about what's going on with banks today?
So you know what's really been interesting? Any conversations that we have had, there's a little bit of question, are we insured? And so yes, credit unions are insured just like banks are with the NCUA. That's who governs us. So we do have that same insurance. But the conversations that we have been more of, we want to bring you more money because we trust you and we know you're not a large bank that dabbles in all of these interesting investments and these online things or in things that are the basics of financial institutions. And so a lot of the conversations have been a little bit of them, venting about just in general their perception of the industry. But then it's like, well, how can I bring you more money? And it makes your heart feel good to know that it wasn't that there was any really fear with us. It was just, we trust you and we know you guys have been doing things the right way. And we want to create a larger business and a larger account with you. Not at all what I expected when all of that started to happen.
Well, now it is time for us to get to learn a little bit more about Amanda Walker. Are you ready for the lightning round?
I hope so.
So, for listeners who might be new to the coffee hour, when we introduce someone new in the LCMS circles, we initiate them with the lightning round. It's just a bunch of questions about favorite things. And since you're in the St. Louis area, sometimes we even throw in some St. Louis questions. You just never know. So let's start with the first one. You ready?
I think so.
All right. Favorite cuisine?
Mexican.
All right. Favorite book?
I'm going to say not a favorite book, a favorite author. I really like James Patterson.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Fun. I like that. I like how you just put it into a category of author. That's fun. All right.
That's fair. We'll allow it.
Okay. Favorite movie?
Oh, it's going to make me sound sappy. Sweet
That's
Home
okay.
Alabama. Every time it's
Oh.
on, I've got to watch it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Okay, I won't disagree with your preface.
Oh, let's see. Favorite ice cream or dessert if you don't like ice cream?
I like both. Both usually involve dough. So I would say ice cream with dough in it, like cookie dough.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm a dough person.
Yeah.
Oh, now I'm hungry. See, anytime we talk about food. Okay.
Anytime.
Favorite vacation destination?
Bahamas.
Oh.
Bahamas.
Now, is this a place you've been before or
Yes.
wanting to go? Yes?
I have been. It was amazing.
Excellent.
All right.
Excellent.
Now I want a vacation. Let's see. Favorite office supply?
Post-it notes, and the more various colors, the better. Except I don't like the ones that have the accordion stickies. I don't know why somebody did it. So you have to be able to rip off the one. But Post-it notes, hands down.
Yes. Speaking my language.
All right. Post-it notes in a variety of colors, but not the accordion style. All right.
Yep.
Precisely. Yes.
All right. Favorite hymn or song that you might sing in worship?
I don't know if this is the accurate name of it, but I think it's He Lives or I Serve a Risen Savior.
All right.
Okay.
All right.
Very good. And finally, favorite Bible verse?
Very well known, but I think that it got me through so many times and continues to. I would say, be still and know that I am God. Always a great one that always makes me get back to where I am.
Very good. So we know that we're going to be having cookie dough ice cream while watching Sweet Home Alabama in the Bahamas, eating some Mexican food too. And in order to, save up for this vacation, we know where to open a savings account so you can save for that vacation.
All of that is perfect. All of that is perfect.
Sounds like a fun vacation, man. Cookie dough ice cream in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Amanda, it has been great getting to know you. How can our listeners learn more about Lutheran Federal Credit Union?
Our website's going to have all the most up-to-date information, so lutheranfcu.org. And if you have any questions, give us a call. We want to talk to you.
Very good. lutheranfcu.org. Thanks so much, Amanda, for being our guest on the Coffee Hour today.
Thank you so much. It's been awesome.
You've been listening to the Coffee Hour. I'm Andy Bates.
I'm Sarah Gulseth.
The Coffee Hour with Andy and Sarah is a production of KFUO. To support the Coffee Hour and KFUO Radio, visit KFUO.org. You can also text KFUO to 41444 or send an email to gifts@KFUO.org. And you can call us at 800-844-0524. KFUO. Christ for you, anytime, anywhere.